a lot of women are out there, they are not aware that they have something going on with them.
Sometimes when people are experiencing postpartum depression, it comes with a bit of psychosis in it. So there are different levels to it. So people may experience it differently from others.
Hi, everybody. It's good to have you on here. My name is MARYAM ONIKIJIPA BELGORE, and I'm glad to be here with you live online today. Today we're going to be having a whole lot of fun. I can see everyone joining in. I can see Official, Ziza, Mariam Sulu, Zinatullah. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. So, as we all know, that we're still in the month of March 2021, and we're in the spirit of still celebrating Women History Month globally. So today we're going to be talking about building our self-confidence as women and being our best self. So I'd like for anyone that would have questions for us to please note down their questions, as we would be taking questions at the end of the session. So I'm going to give you a little bit of intro before we eventually introduce or bring in our guests. As I said earlier, our topic is about building your best self and building your confidence as a woman. So today is all about discussing the concept of self, discussing how to build your sense of self and significance as a woman. And to be a confident woman, what are the things that you need to know, you need to do? So first of all, I'd like to say that you need to know your self-worth as a woman. What's your self-worth? That's that thing, that unique attribute that makes you unique, that makes you you, that feature, that talent, that gift, that skill that you have as a person, as a woman, that makes you very unique to yourself. I am me, I'm MARYAM, there's no other me, you're you, there's no other you, and there are so many things that make you you. We have some people that have the power of the tongue, they're vibrant speakers, they're good talkers, some people are very good models, some people are good fashion artists, some people are good fashion designers, some people are good homemakers, some people are good career women, and some people are just very good at being at the forefront, fighting for others in the background. Those are our advocates and our activists. So whatever it is that you have in you as a person, be you a very good dancer or singer or whatever it is that makes you very unique to yourself, you need to first of all be aware of that thing that makes you you. That's what you call reflection. You need to reflect on yourself. You need to think about your innermost self. You sit down and think about it. What's that thing that I feel I have in me that makes me different from every other person? So when you're able to know this, or if you do not know this, this is why this live session is on right now. We're going to be helping you to determine what makes you you. We're going to be helping you to focus on your innermost powers, what makes you very unique and special. So when you start to reflect on yourself and then you find out what really is unique about you, you then start to affirm it. You start to believe it. You start to know exactly what it is in you that makes you you. Self-affirmation, positive affirmations all the time is very good for the soul. I do it every day. I look into the mirror. I mean, this is not even a recent thing. This is something that I've always done. I look into the mirror and I tell myself, I'm me, there's no other me, I'm very unique, I'm a force to reckon with. You know, these are things that I constantly say to myself. You know, you say to the point that you start to believe it. There's something they call the law of belief. The law of belief is you believing so much, you know, having like absolute conviction about something until it becomes your reality. So, you believe it so much that it becomes a part of you. And then you start to self-praise yourself, self-appraisal. You start to tell yourself, this is what I can do. This is how unique I am. This is how, you know, when you start to say these things, you start to believe it. It starts to reflect in your lifestyle. You start to reflect in how you deal with people. And then people start to commend you for that. Oh, I never knew that you could do makeup so well. Oh, I never knew you were a good dancer. You know, you start to build all of this confidence about yourself. So when you do all of this, you need then to start to call to action. You need to project these things forward, push it forward to the world, because I personally believe that it's very wrong for you to be endowed or empowered or be gifted with something and then it dies with you. No, you have to work on it. You have to gift yourself out to the world out there. So as women, we have social barriers. We have wrong norms that go against us, pressures that shouldn't be, that even doesn't naturally allow us to project ourselves forward, So these are things we're going to be talking about. See, scientifically already, if you think about it, let's talk about PMS, premenstrual syndrome. For every time a girl is about to be on a period, you might notice a bit of mood swing. You might notice just a bit of low at that time, and the society still expects you to function the way you normally would, which shouldn't be. These are things that start to kind of like tamper with our mental health. It strains us, it drains us, and it constantly puts us on the edge. So we're going to be talking about how you can manage all of these situations, how you can manage your mental health as a woman, how you can put in all of these efforts combined and still be able to project yourself the way you're supposed to. We're also going to be talking about how you can find your way around every other pressure that the society is putting on you as a woman. Remember that you're a woman, you're powerful, you're a force to reckon with. As I've said, there's so much to you other than you just being a girl or, just being a feminine figure that people expect to just be dormant. You can be very active. You can be whatever you choose to be. So I'm going to talk a bit more about everything that we've spoken about, but let me bring on the show now our guest today that happens to be a very, 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 very beautiful woman, a woman of absolute power, strength, and virtue, dignity, name it. A woman that I personally like to see her as a symbol of hope. A woman that I feel has done so much by putting her story out there, by pushing herself out there in order to make positive change to help other women like her. A woman that has given the voiceless voice, that has given people that do not have hope. So join me as I welcome on this live session, Miss Hauwa Ojeifo. Hi. Thank you so much for joining us on this live session. Say hi to her, everybody. All right, Miss Hauwa, please introduce yourself briefly to our people watching you out there.
Hi, my name is Hauwa. What am I? I'm a mental health advocate, human rights activist. A lot of you will know me as the ED at She Writes Woman, which is a movement that gives mental health a voice in Nigeria by empowering people who actually live with mental health conditions to tell their own stories, co-create their own solutions, and advocate for their own rights.
Nice. Thank you, Ms. Hauwa, for joining us. We're very honored to have you in our session today. So, Ms. Hauwa, you know that I know no one would know better the challenges that women face, the norms restricting us as women, things that people have seen as what should be, what shouldn't be. How would you tackle such issues? How would you encourage women out there to step out of those zones, those supposed comfort zones that people expect of them? How do you expect them to project, to push themselves forward to be a better version of themselves?
Yeah, so I think first things first, we have to recognize in terms of their behavior or attitudes or, feelings, emotions and things is really a consequence of the environment.
Right.
Everything that we've been conditioned to believe. So whether or not, you've been told that a woman should not take up a certain type of space, whether it's politically or, in the corporate world or something, or you've been told, for example, that, you must be at home. It's okay to be at home if that's, a personal choice. But you've been told that, you shouldn't be in other places. I think first we need to recognize that everything that we are is a result of everything we've been conditioned to be. Right. So I think that's the first step. And the reason I'm starting with that is because we tend to beat ourselves up over certain kinds of decisions we've made in the past, or certain decisions that we are making now, or certain situations that we find ourselves, and we're beating ourselves up like, okay, look at other women, I should be like that. But we need to recognize that even as we get a lot more empowered, we need to continue to have that awareness that we have been conditioned to be the way we are. So first off, you need to realize that this is going to be a tough journey. So whether it's a self-discovery, whether it is coming back to yourself or picking yourself back up, or being able to just project or being able to, like you rightly said, in everything, just understand your own unique attributes and things like that. First off, the environment has been set up in a way that does not particularly help us to do that.
That's
so
true.
Go easy on yourself. So that's the first thing. And I think after that, we would then begin to ask ourselves some key questions. Things like, if no one was going to judge me, who will I be?
Really?
What would I do?
Right.
And before you know it, if you're really honest and you do this by yourself, really taking out all the expectations. Because what happens, especially with women, is that there's been a very high bar set. And we've been told that, you have to hit this and hit this and hit this and hit this. And as a woman, you should be like this and like that. And then everybody expects you to present yourself in a certain type of way in different places. So as a mother, you have to present a certain way. As a wife, you have to present a certain way. When you go to the workplace, you present a certain way. And all of that can very quickly contradict and even become very overwhelming.
That's true.
So it's about really going back and saying, if there was no judgment, if, the world was not looking, who would I be?
Who would I be? Amazing.
And that's such a profound question for a lot of people, because all of a sudden they realize that there is an outlet. There is a part of themselves that have been wanting to come out.
Right.
Right? And because you're in an environment that has told you to wear this mask and that mask and that mask and that mask, then it becomes a lot harder for you to then, like, before you know it, you look in the mirror and you can't recognize the person that's looking back.
That's
because
true.
It's like you've worn so many masks.
That's true.
So for me, it's that one question that I usually tell a lot of women to do, like, who are you? Who were you? Sometimes, because a lot of times, in your childhood, you were someone and you were going a certain kind of path before the world started telling you, no, you should be, you ought to be, you are not supposed, that type of thing. And before you knew it, you were like, okay, that's where they say I should go. And then you started believing it as your own voice. Meanwhile, it wasn't. So that type of thing. So I think it's, so for me, that's a starting question.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Miss Hauwa. That's very, very enriching. You've heard her very well. Who are you outside who every other person is expecting you to be? Can you guys still hear us? Are you still there? Kindly wave. All right, so they're still there. Thank you. So, Miss Hauwa, we know that as women, we have people tell us constantly, especially in the world of today, where a lot of people are coming out to advocate for women and telling them to throw away their vulnerabilities and telling them to keep changing. But then we still know that there are a whole lot of women out there that still find this fit, this age, this time, they still find it quite very, how do I put it? They still find it very strange to accept because of the norms, the things that they have been taught to do, because of the way they've been trained over time. So how do you encourage these women to look outside the box, to kind of like think outside the box? You're first of what you are and more. So how do they say, because we have some women that have like cultural restrictions, traditional restrictions, we have a whole lot of restrictions for women. How do you try your best to find yourself, to think outside that box of what there are times, my point is, there are times when that, okay, I could do this. But because of the way you were brought up and the things you were told, you feel like, is this even ideal? Is this right? Should I even be doing this? Should I be thinking this? Yeah. So how do you want these women to approach such issues? How do you want them to jump at it? Should they take a leap for it? Should they jump? Should they take a step backwards? How do you want them to go about it?
All of the above, actually. Everything that you've mentioned. I think, there isn't one way to do self-discovery. There isn't one way to find yourself amidst, whatever environment that you are in. There's no one size fits all. There are just, fundamentals and principles that you want to bear in mind as you navigate your own journey. So I think, yes, for some people, you may need to take steps backwards. For some people, you may need to, jump. Leap into it. And some people, they may just need to hold space and be still in whatever situation that they're going through. So by being still, I mean, depending on what you're going through, maybe no action is required for you in order for you to actually come to some sort of acceptance or to some level of growth. Maybe the problem is that you are trying too much. And maybe you just need to be still. For some people, maybe they're going too fast and they need to just step back. For some people, there is a whole world of possibilities. It's time for you to leap.
Right.
So it's very, very different for a lot of people. But I think, again, it's back to, and this even extends beyond women. It's just that thought that, just the way this is how it was done doesn't mean that this is the way it should
be done. Right. Thank you all, guys, for joining us this evening. So now let's come to the issue, the very sensitive topic. That's the topic that concerns mental health. A lot of women are out there, and they do not even know. They are not in the know. They are not aware that they have something going on with them. They know that they have triggers. They might not even know they have triggers, but they just know for every time they're in a certain position or in a place or in a situation, they snap, or they are angered by it, or they just do not feel themselves. And some women just feel like they don't want to mix with the rest of the world, not even knowing what exactly is happening to them. Some women feel like they're too timid to do it. They feel like, I understand that we have introverts by nature, but there are some people that they could actually go for it, but they believe they cannot go for it. So we have so many people thinking things that they feel is normal, but in the real sense of it, the background of the problem is that they have issues that they are not aware of. They have issues that they need to seek help for. So how do you even know that you have a mental health problem? How do you even know that you need to seek help? And then how do you bring yourself to now seek for the help? Knowing you're supposed to seek for help is different from you being able to further seek for the help. So how do you want people to assess themselves, to know they have a problem? What are they supposed to do to tackle those problems? And I know that you have a platform that helps people with that, and they can always come to the platform. The platform is at She Writes Woman, that's S-H-E, She Writes, W-R-I-T-E-S, Woman, W-O-M-A-N. She Writes Woman, at She Writes Woman. So I know you have a platform for this where people could come, even call for free. You have a safe place for people that they could always reach out to you. But then how do they even know? How do they identify this problem?
So one of the things I tell women is, and I tell anyone really, is the moment you feel that there might be something wrong is exactly the right time.
Right. You guys heard that. The moment you feel like there might be something wrong is actually the right time. There might be no better time, really. Yeah.
Because a lot of times, people would say things like, I don't think that's really, you're still... Should I seek? I'm like, you know what? The moment you feel like there's something unsettling, because here's the thing: we're already in an environment where, no matter how aware you are, you're either unaware or you're under-aware.
Right.
So very few people understand mental health to the point where they're very, very aware. So at the time when you think that something is just the onset, actually it has probably been on for years that you didn't know about. And, we have the studies and statistics that show that, from the moment where you start to, the symptoms become evident to when people seek support, it takes about 8 to 10 years.
Wow.
So when you think that you're just seeing something for the first time, or you're just feeling it, or I'm not sure, that is exactly the time when you want to begin to like, okay, you know what, I think I should deal with something on the inside. And here's the thing, and it's so important that we approach it from this angle, because a lot of people are very quick to say, no, I don't have any mental problem. I don't, it's not about having a mental problem. It's really understanding that just the same way we have physical health, we also have mental health, right? And it requires, scrutiny from time to time. From time to time you go for medical checkup and things like that. It's okay for you to sit down before a counselor or a therapist just to talk through life. Because what we don't even realize is that a lot of our physical health is actually coming from our mental health as well. Our state of mind, how we're approaching the world, the stressors, our sleep, the effects of work and, partnerships and, relationships and things like that. And how all of those things affect us and how we are processing all of that. And before you know it, there's an ache and there's a pain and then your stomach hurts and then you sleep too much, you're not sleeping enough and things like that. And you think and you take Panadol and you continue, you're going to treat malaria and everything. Meanwhile, all of that period of time is compounding a case of perhaps maybe depression.
Right.
You know, and the truth is life is happening. We're experiencing loss. We're losing people in terms of like grief as well.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people have gone through a lot of economic turbulence over the last year.
Yeah.
So that is also a shock. People have had to stay at home, which is fundamentally against how the human biology is.
Exactly.
The neurobiology of humans is. So that is even a stressor by itself. Sometimes you move. Maybe you change countries or cities and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, you get into a new relationship.
Yeah.
People don't understand that even good, supposedly good things can cause stress for you.
Right, it could.
You know, for some people, they move from smaller places to maybe a bigger apartment and things like that. But it is in itself stressful. You know, and you don't know the effect and to what degree that whole entire experience has on you. But you just keep it moving and then it continues to compound. Because here's the thing, it doesn't just go away. You have to find an outlet for it to go away.
Right.
And a lot of us are not equipped with that because either we were not taught to or our cultural conditioning is not to speak about certain kinds of things because are you the first person? You know,
Right.
like, are you the first? What people have been doing all these years is better be grateful. At least even have light. Maybe I'm not seeing life, but you know. So it's almost like we're battling for who has more hardship in life. But the truth is, you know, the moment you begin to feel, as long as you're a human being, I recommend that at any given point in time, you know, once, twice, 3 times in a year, sit down before a therapist just to unburden, just talk. You know, you would be so surprised at the revelations that really come out and
You
how,
guys heard her?
you know, your behavior, what you thought was just random and just who I am. You would realize that it actually started somewhere.
Yeah,
You know.
right. Buttressing what Miss Hauwa just spoke about, I got a mail, someone sent me a mail, a female identity withheld, sent me a mail and asked if I feel postpartum depression is real. And I was shocked to have received such question, you know. I felt like a lot of people knew about this already, but as we have it, so many people do not even know. They are not in the know of the things going on around them. And I wouldn't blame her because when I became a mom at first, that was about 9 years ago, I also didn't really, I've heard about postpartum depression before, but I didn't really go into it. I didn't read much about it because I just felt like, I mean, why would anybody be depressed after having a baby? I mean, it's a thing of joy. So I had a baby, and first of all, it was a turbulent pregnancy. So, you know, you have that father there by the side. You also have yourself thinking, once I get back, you know, nobody really prepares any mother that after having your baby, your body will not bounce back. So you get back home, and then you have the luxury or the opportunity to see a full mirror. And then you just look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, okay, I've had this baby. I'm supposed to be back to, you know, and then you're like, okay, let me just give myself some time. And then you give yourself about 2 weeks and it's 3 weeks and then nothing is changing. You have to put in the work. And then you have a baby that is so tiny, but is in control of your life. There are times when you put food on the table, is at that time, babies, they actually know how to do that. The moment you put your food out there, like, okay, it's time for me to eat, that's when they start to cry. It's like they just know, you know. So after putting all of this together, one day I just went into, you know, I was on my bed, nothing was happening, and I just started to cry. And I cried so much. And then after crying, I just opened the wardrobe in my room and I squeezed myself in it, you know. I just wanted to be there, like I just felt like no one loved me, like I was by myself. So that's what you call a first-class postpartum depression. And I didn't know that I was depressed. So it's very key for people to know, like you said, that just as you have physical health, that we do check up every now and then, we also have mental health.
Absolutely.
I got out of that by actually talking to someone. So we need to also learn to seek for help. So I spoke to someone casually. I just felt like, okay, something weird was happening to me yesterday. And then, you know, she just said, no, it's not weird. That's what they call postpartum depression. I'm like, really? Postpartum depression? Then I started to read up on it. And then I realized that, oh, yeah, this is what I felt at that time. So really, so for that question, for the lady that sent me the question, postpartum postpartum depression is real. You can talk to other new moms. Not everybody might witness postpartum depression, but I can assure you that, a whole lot of us.
The body and the mind, they're really fused. It's not that they're so different the way we think about it, They're really fused together. And when things happen to you, you're storing it in your body. You're storing it in your mind. But there is only so much that it can take. And before you know it, what we see as, breakdown in the body, maybe you're having some stomach this and stomach that, a lot of things can be linked to your mental state. And then it's like the body can't hold anymore. And then it begins to break down. Before you know it, today you might just have, maybe something may just have made you happy. But tomorrow, a rush comes over you and you're like, that's it. I just don't want to do this life anymore. I'm done. And I always talk about, in the first case that happened to me, it was a case of the day before I was absolutely fine. I was like, chilling and laughing and everything. And the next day, I don't know what the trigger was, but that was it. I just felt like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't do this anymore. And thankfully, my sister was with me and all of that. But, I'm just trying to explain how, this thing can go from 0 to 100 very quickly. You might think, oh, no, it's not that bad. I mean, I've had people call me even when they were suicidal. They're like, no, it's not that bad. I'm like, okay. How bad exactly do we need to get before we realize that, okay, perhaps this is a good time for us to, check in with someone. And it's not that things have to be bad. It's not that you even have to live with something. Sometimes I tell people that you can be absolutely fine. But as long as you realize that there is so much more to your life, that you realize that there is a lot of potential you haven't unlocked, it is still a good idea for you to sit before a therapist. Because sometimes what is holding you back in life could just be the fact that you have unresolved emotions in maybe your childhood or something, or maybe there was a bad relationship somewhere that you even thought was trivial, but then now it has completely changed the trajectory of your life in terms of your interpersonal relationships and things like that. Now,
how do you think that we could also help the postnatal depressed, as this person asked?
Okay, so I think first we need to clarify that with anything postpartum, there are different degrees to it. And I just saw a glimpse of people just talking about the extremes and things like that. And yes, there are different levels to it. And whilst yours was more of that bit of tiredness and fatigue and just not wanting to connect with people and all of that. For some people, it is not even being able to connect with the child. And in certain cases, it could even be more extreme in the cases where it feels like the child is a symbol of your inadequacy, so you want to get rid of the child. So that is where you get to the point of psychosis that's within it. So the part that has postpartum psychosis, postpartum. So sometimes we say because even sometimes when people are experiencing postpartum depression, it comes with a bit of psychosis in it. So there are different levels to it. So people may experience it differently from others. But having said all of that, I think, for me, I always look at things not from a place of band-aid, just slap something on and say, okay, when you're feeling it, do it. No, that's just like so temporary and it's not sustainable. But one thing I feel like as a system, so whether you're a man listening to this or a woman or anything, one thing that we definitely need to do is to change the cultural expectations of a woman as far as childbirth is concerned. Because a lot of predispositions that come with postpartum depression or postpartum psychosis start long before the baby comes.
True.
It comes with all the stress that comes before, all the lack of support, the fact that you're working, so, you are intensely working, you have expectations on you, you still have to be a wife, and maybe you have another child, and you still have to go to work, and, all of that comes with you. Even with our monthly period, you just said something, we go through a turbulent time. Now, talk about a baby that stays like 9 to 10 months in your tummy, and then comes out, stretches you, and bones are changed forever. Your brain, by the way, when you give birth, is changed forever. People don't know that, so imagine that entire traumatic, because it is a traumatic process. And then you finish from it, and then, the nurses are angry now. Press the nipple now, let it in, the milk is not coming out.
You can say that again. You can say that again.
And because everybody feels like, we are not the first.
Let me quickly say something very funny. She just reminded me of an experience I had with my third baby. So I had him at 31 weeks. It was a premature baby. So my body wasn't even ready for birth. So there wasn't milk production. I wasn't lactating. So everything was very shocking for my system. And then I had him, and they said, oh, for a premature baby, for a baby that comes pretty early, the best thing is, breast milk to take out the risk of infection. And my body wasn't responding. I wasn't lactating. There was no milk whatsoever. I don't know what it is that the world or people that are in the healthcare system would help us do about this, but I had some nurses come to me, and they invited me over to the SBU, and then they said I should come, that they would try to massage my breast to help me lactate. And I said, okay. And then the next thing, I had one nurse hold my hand, another one held the other one, and then so it felt like I was trapped.
Okay.
And then they just, pulled my nightie, and then they just put the hot water and they started to massage, And then at that time, it's a beat, it's quite painful at that time. Your body is sore, and then your breasts are very heavy because of the ducts. The milk is trying its best to bring itself to life, so it's not happening yet. So you have what they call mastitis. You're just engorged. There's a lot of pain going on around there. And then, I kept screaming, and they're like, it's for your baby. It's for your baby. And then, I just kept crying, and it's for your baby, stop crying. It's for, so, and they did all of these things.
The baby has come. You have gone through labor now.
Yes.
Can we just begin to recreate a culture where we cut the mother some slack?
Right.
Right. Me, I tell people a lot of times. I mean, I haven't had a child, but me, just even without having a child, I feel like I can't even carry myself. I want to. Me. No. You know that I ask you this question a lot. I ask you, I'm like, how are you people doing this? Because me, just with my own responsibility, I can barely move. You're not going to tell me, I'll born child, I'll go home, I will sweep, in 8 days, we will do it.
Well, that's what brings us to saying that we're actually very strong as women. That time will come, and then you just have it figured out.
I don't want to be strong, please. I want baby girl.
All right, yeah. So let's try to see more until we talk in other people's shoes, until we walk in their shoes. We need to be kind. Oh, we cannot overemphasize that one. We need to be kind. There's really nothing. I mean, kindness is the best religion, they say. Is it right to use medicine for postnatal depression?
No, actually, you can. Well, you can. So for me, I feel like if you feel like you're going through any form of depression, whether it's postpartum or clinical depression and things like that, you should see a professional.
Yeah.
Because for different people, like I said before, it shows differently for different people. It can have different degrees and variations and things like that. And that's the thing with mental health, because we're such individual human beings. Even I could be living with depression and you could be living with depression, but we're experiencing it so differently.
So differently, right?
So yes, a lot of people might have to take medications, but why it gets tricky with postpartum depression, or for some people the depression even starts when the baby is still in the tummy, right. But you can't take those medications because obviously we are pregnant, so it's really tough. And because when you take those medications, remember, anything that goes into your mouth, the baby sucks on from the breast, so it's very, very tricky. So I would say work together with a mental health professional to do that.
Someone says sleeping, having enough rest goes a long way. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's what Hauwa said about, we need to change the what did you say? The narrative, like the culture. The culture. Let's cut the new mom some slack, as she said.
Everybody has a role to play. Whether it's the husband to the woman, whether it's the siblings, whether it's her own, family, whether it's the friends, a lot of times people would, you're causing distress as well.
Yeah.
You come to the house to visit, she still has to get up and show you the baby. She has to smile. She has to look good. And she is tired.
And in our Yoruba setting, have to still kneel down when you're not properly healed.
I'm not kneeling down. I'm tired. You come and see me, please.
Yeah, therapy too, accepting all the help you can get. Yes,
and say exactly what help looks like. For a lot of people, they think, let's buy gifts. Sometimes people really want, can you come and stay in my house and be carrying the baby, or come and wash clothes, or come and be in the kitchen. Sometimes that's what support looks like for a lot of people. If I know that the kitchen is sorted and my laundry is sorted and somebody's cleaning the house, okay, I think I can work with this.
Right. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's almost 6 o'clock. We've almost had you guys for like an hour. Wow. But my own sleeping felt like trying to escape and hide from the reality. Okay?
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to work with a professional, because that could very easily turn into something else, and you don't want a situation where you get to a point where you feel like you want to take your own life, or you want to run away, or even you want to get rid of the baby. And I'm using that subtly because that typically it becomes something else. For some people, they try to like maybe drown the baby, or and
like,
it's to no fault of theirs. It's what the baby symbolizes to them at that moment in time. And it's not just that; it's because the social setting has placed such a high bar and expectation, and then you have a lot of men and even other women saying, "You're not the first. You will do it. Our mothers did it. My friend, you're a woman. You are strong. Go." I'm not a strong woman. I'm not strong. No. I refuse to be strong. I'm not strong. Please.
Oh God, Hauwa, please. So there's a circulating video online. I don't know if you've seen it, where they show an American child getting a massage in a very cool environment with very lovely music playing by the background. Really? And there's another one of an African child. No, that video is awful. They have to bend the child this way, twist the child that way.
What?
No, it's very mind disturbing if you watch this video.
What is that they're trying to do to the child? When the child just born?
So I think in the African culture, it's to make you flexible.
Stretch the child.
It's to make you flexible, upside down. Yeah, that kind of thing. So these are things that we need to eradicate. Oyibo people are not turning their kids upside down. They are not twisting them and folding their intestines in and out, and they're still living very fine. So, these things are even mentally draining for a new mom that went through that process of giving birth to that child. Because I promise you that no new mom would have a child and then bring that child out and start twisting that child that way. So,
I know that I remember somebody that I know. And she said that she saw it one time. The way they even gave the child the first bath and they were doing that thing, that she was crying. She was in tears. She was like, "You can't even do this to me. I will slap somebody because this thing that you are doing to this child, I don't like it.
Right.
I don't. There's got to be a softer way to go about it. But they're stretching the legs. They want the legs to be strong." So if you have strong leg now, what have you used it to do?
Honestly, I don't know if they twisted Hauwa that way. Hauwa still wants to believe the baby girl's life.
I don't think they twisted me.
So I believe that mental health even starts from all of those things. Let's eradicate cultures and beliefs and norms that are not. And again, women need to support women.
Oh, absolutely.
You would hardly find a man doing that to a baby. It's always the mothers, the experienced mother that they bring in to do that to. Even the what do they call that bath? That bath they give new moms. You have some women doing it with a lot of malice. The water is so hot, they are slapping it on you. They're telling you that your tummy will go down. Anyways, I just want to say that now I am in the know. I'm a woman. I know how I felt when I saw the video of the baby. They were twisting and stretching. Why would I now tomorrow want to do that to another woman's baby when I don't want that to be done to my baby? So please, let's not forget how we feel or how we felt when we experienced something. Let's always try to remind ourselves so that we don't repeat those same things. That goes, far and beyond to even mother-in-laws. How were you treated as a new wife? Did you like it? So please be nice to your daughter-in-law when she comes. That goes, to sister-in-laws, to everybody, to colleagues at work. I always say something like, I have phobia when it comes to working with women.
Oh, really?
Yes, I used to say that
I've
a lot.
had some of my best experiences.
I used to. Now I've overcome it, but it used to be that way for me, where you just feel like women constantly just look down on you. I've had someone work with me before. I've had bosses even in the past where, just because, I like to look good. I'm a fashion enthusiast. And then I'm coming to work, and then maybe all your life you've been very moderate in your sense of styling. And then I come to my place of work looking the way I think I should look or the way I want to look. And then you give me a very condemn and like, I don't know. You should say they even find time to take care of your house as you did dress so. Who has you? So please, as women, let's try to support other women. If you find something nice about one woman, compliment it. It might not be your sense of style. It might not be your sense of duty. It might not be what you like to do or what you would want to do. Just compliment it and understand that everybody must have put in one effort or the other towards whatever it is that you see in them. So let's try to support ourselves more as women.
I just want to even add to that you know what, like even if something doesn't seem like your cup of tea, you can just keep quiet.
Right?
You don't have to comment about everything.
Absolutely.
You can just, if you don't have anything kind to say,
absolutely.
Don't say anything at all. And I think, the thing about women is, and one of the ways we need to start breaking down certain beliefs or conditionings that we've been told with regards to our support. That thing that stands in the way of, a lot of women support women. I'm going to be very honest.
Yeah, right,
because
right.
a whole lot of my support system.
Women are supporting women.
Exactly, a whole lot of my support system and everything is, from women, know. And I feel like it's the best thing. having your own people who understand your own experience and the way you see the world, you know, be able to see through that lens and support you. But I think in situations where you find yourself, you know, holding that sense of resentment for the next woman for whatever reason, whether valid or not to you, I think you want to go back inwards and look at why that is. And more often than not, I find that if we go to the core of it, for women in particular, it's because we have been conditioned to see each other as competition. From the moment we were babies, kids, little girls, it was always about, look at that girl, look at how she's behaving, look at where she goes. And then we grow up and then we're teenagers and then we start to develop, and then it's like, your breast is bigger than mine, your hips are like this, and you know, we continue, and then we go to the work environment, and it is a matter of there is not enough in the world for you, so you must chase that guy. It's you that must have him. If that girl has him, go and collect him. If that girl has that role, go and collect that role. Because so we have been taught to see each other as competition.
Yeah, right.
So the world has pit us against each other, and then we wake up one morning and decide, oh, women don't like each other. No, it's not that we don't like each other.
We're awake now.
It's that, you know,
we're awake. We know now. We know. We shouldn't fight ourselves. We should support ourselves.
Yeah, we have a lot of unlearning to do, and that's the only way we can get to being our true.
Can you emphasize on that again?
We have a lot of unlearning to do.
Right, so many things that we've been taught that we need to
for us to unlock that confident woman that you were talking about. It's important that, you know, we go and unlearn certain things and relearn them, because a lot of what we know cannot take us to that place of confidence.
Wow, amazing. Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah. Thank you, guys. It's been an interesting session with you all. So in essence, we've been trying to say that for you to become your best self, you first of all need to know yourself. You need to know what you're worth. You need to self-appraise yourself. You need to reflect on yourself. You need to positively affirm it to yourself. You need to believe it for it to become your reality. There's a lot that comes with you being a woman. There's just so much abundance. You know, you just need to tap into it and know exactly what it is. And there's really no such thing as, I don't have anything good about myself. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. It might just be the way you look. I have a friend that really doesn't talk much. You know, she's just like this. And I wish I could be so calm. You know, so, I mean, there's just something about every one of us that makes us very unique, that make us, you know, powerful women, that make us special women in our different colors, shapes, and sizes. It doesn't matter, you know, everyone is
so much more than
so much more than all of those things. So you need to tap, you know, within this, this gift, this thing that God has endowed and empowered you with, and then forge ahead. You call to action by doing all of these things. So guys, it's 6 p.m. already. We've taken an hour of your time. We're going to be leaving now. We hope that you guys have had so much fun. Thank you too. Uraola, thank you. T-Mac Fabrics, thank you everybody. Let's do more of this. Oh, we will try. We will try. Thank you. Even though I'm not a woman, I also gained a lot. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That's the whole essence. Yeah, that's the whole essence. Thank you all so very much. We hope that you guys have had, you know, 1 or 2 productive moments in the past 1 hour that we've been here. And we hope that we have been able to reach out to 1 woman. And if I've reached out to 10 women, awesome. Amazing. If I've reached out to 100 women, fantastic. And if I've reached out to thousands to millions of women just by reaching out to one of you, what could be more beautiful, really? Thank you all. Thank you so much. We hope to be here again soon. And before I leave, I have something for you. Yes, you woman watching me. Yes, you. I want to let you know that you're a soldier without uniform. You're the very essence of life. You are the beauty of the universe. You are the strongest of souls in the most fragile body. You are the greatest of everything living. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You know why? Because you are the reason for continuity in every generation. And without you, there's no procreation. Yeah. So to you, woman of honor, woman of value, woman of strength, woman of beauty, woman of substance, I want to salute you and every other woman in the making. God bless us all. May all of our rewards be greater than all of our efforts put together. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We're going to be back again soon. Thank you all so much, guys. Take care. Bye.